Call on Senator Hoffman.
Mr. President, members, staff, and guests, I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak today. Man, it is really good to be back in this chamber with all of you. Over the past few months, my family and I have walked through a chapter that changes a person. When you survive an attempted assassination, you look at the world differently. The noise fades and that posturing fades. The chatter becomes irrelevant. What remains is what is truly important: family, community, and the responsibility that we have to care for one another. Today, my wife is here. My mom is here. My family and my extended family are here with us today. But before I say anything else, I just need to say this. Yvette, no political spouse signs up for this. She did not choose public office. She chose partnership. And yet she has carried this burden with strength, dignity, and grace beyond what I can adequately describe. That night, Yvette was shot 8 times. Our daughter, Hope, a gun pointed to her head. I sustained 9 bullet wounds. Those are facts, but they are not what defines us. What defines us is courage. Our daughter, Hope, while Yvette and I lay wounded on the ground, on the floor, she called 911 and she spoke calmly. She provided clear, critical information. Mr. President, there's no doubt in my mind that her composure that evening saved lives, including mine, and protected many people in this chamber. Hope, your strength humbles me. My family carried us when we could not carry ourselves. And with that, I return grounded in gratitude, Mr. President. I'm grateful for the neighbors, faith leaders, advocates, and constituents who surrounded my family and reminded us that we are not alone. I'm grateful for colleagues from all corners of our state who reached out, not as politicians, but as people. Members from both caucuses checked in. They called, they texted, they sent notes. They offered help. And they respected our family's need for privacy when we healed, Mr. President. In those moments, titles and party labels faded. What remained was simple human decency. Majority Leader Murphy, thank you for your steady leadership and your compassion during this time. Minority Leader Johnson, you and your caucus sent flowers in rehab. You sent food and checked in on my family. Those gestures were not political. They were human, and they mattered. I'm grateful for the EMTs who arrived without hesitation, for the officers of the Champlin Police Department and the Maple Grove Police Department who responded with professionalism and courage, for the nurses, doctors, and medical teams at Mercy Hospital who saved our lives and my life, and for the Minnesota State Troopers who protected my family and me in the emergency room, in the ICU, throughout recovery, and at our home. And they escorted me up the steps and back into this chamber today. They were there in the ICU as I learned to walk again and established a goal to walk up those Capitol steps with them. They kept watch during our most vulnerable hours. They ensured safety when uncertainty, real uncertainty, surrounded us. I am grateful to them forever. Because of all of them, I'm able to return to this chamber today. Because what happened that day to my family and to the Hortman family and the fear so many felt across our communities was absolutely horrific. I will not allow that to define us, our lives, or our democracy. What defines us is how we must respond and how we choose to respond. Do we respond and retreat into suspicion or bitterness, into conspiracy or partisan bickering? The answer is no. We have a choice to either commit ourselves to the work of the people, and I choose to recommit. In moments like this, politics must fade and humanity must take over. This is not a weakness, it is a strength. It is a proof that beneath our disagreements, behind our election certificates, we still recognize one another as human beings entrusted with serious responsibility. And that responsibility is to lead our neighbors and communities with diligence, respect, and humility. It requires restraint and listening, even when it's uncomfortable, but especially when it's uncomfortable. The people of Minnesota are not asking us to be harsher. They're asking us to be steady. They're not asking us to win debates. They're asking us to solve problems. They are not asking us to make the best speeches or get the most clicks. They are asking us to lead. So, Mr. President, as we move forward this session, my commitment is really simple: to work in good faith, to protect the most vulnerable among us, to pursue truth and fairness, and to remember every single day we serve here, this work is not about us, it's about the people of Minnesota. I return changed, Mr. President, but not deterred. More convinced than ever that the leadership is measured not by how we respond when everything is going right, but how we respond in our hardest hours. Members, let's rise above the noise and let us govern with humility. And let us prove through our actions, not just words, that democracy is stronger than fear. Mr. President, I thank you, and it feels really good to be back here.
Thank you, Senator Hoffman. And I know we probably did this, but can we also give some love to his family that's in the gallery, please?